A lot of smiling faces. A woman out here will just try and get. ये बताइए कितना इंस्पिरेशनल है आप लोगों के लिए?
बहुत ज़्यादा इंस्पिरेशनल है और ऐसा मूवमेंट देखने को मिल रहा है पहली बार लाइफ में, इसलिए बहुत 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 खुश है हम सब।
कितने क्या लगती हैं वो आपके?
वो हमारे गांव की हैं, बचपन से देखा है उन्हें और हमेशा से घर आना जाना रहा है।
So there you have it. We'll just try and get down as the bus moves from here. Clearly, driver साहब बस एक सेकंड रोकेंगे तो हम so we will now just let the bus go. But yes, India Today, first on ground, getting your reaction. Clearly, even as the bus moves, this is where a lot of them waving out here. Clearly, true excitement. And this is where all the relatives saying they're going to be witnessing history. Unbelievable for them, but somebody from marginalized society, somebody from one amongst them has risen to be the president, the supreme commander of the armed forces, somebody who will be the caretaker of constitution, somebody who's going to lead the nation. So all of that, a lot of mixed emotions, high emotions. Now we'll move back to Droupadi MURMU'S residence, where she is now just a guest for a couple of minutes as the countdown begins for her rise and epitome of power as far as the President of India is concerned.
I want to take you now to Vijay Chowk. Vijay Chowk is that central part of Delhi, right under Raisina Hill, where the presidential procession will be going from the Rashtrapati Bhavan to Parliament, just a short distance away. India Today's Mausmi Singh is with us as well this morning. Good morning, Mausmi. We're looking at those lovely ceremonials taking place in the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan on Raisina Hill. Also those pictures inside of President-elect Murmu interacting with outgoing President Kovind and his family. In a very short while from now, they will be leaving from Rashtrapati Bhavan and passing behind you as they head to Parliament, Mausmi.
Highest office.
A very good morning to you, Shiv, and all our viewers. We are in the heart of the entire power center of Delhi, the Lutyens' Delhi, Vijay Chowk, and truly this is an iconic place where you will get all the visuals panning out right behind me as my Vijay Satya gets you all the colors of democracy and the visuals that we see on our screens. Shiv, you really mentioned right now what a historic moment. You know, this is a moment where a president from the backward community is passing the baton to the president-elect, who is hailing from the Adivasi community and would be the second woman president in the entire time span of post-independence. And importantly, even as they pass through this entire stretch going to Parliament, the entire country will be watching these visuals very closely. Droupadi Murmu, what a journey it has been for her, even as she goes to Parliament, her friends, her close relatives, her daughter Itishri, and her brother, who's got a special sari for her from the Santhal community. That will be the traditional sari, traditional sari that she is wearing right now. So that's from the Santhal community. As she drapes that sari and drives through this entire passage, it will be a moment of reckoning, not only for the tribal community, but for all those underprivileged people who have dared to dream. Truly iconic ship.
Amazing pictures coming in. We've got these visuals coming courtesy Doordarshan of the wonderful Raisina Hill ceremonials. You can see that there are there is security and the ceremonial guards lining up the entire Raisina Hill all the way up past the North Block and South Block onto the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt, where the President's bodyguard is awaiting on their horses for that ceremonial procession. These are images from inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan. These are live images, viewer, as President Kovind, the outgoing President of India, and President-elect Droupadi Murmu are moving towards the outside, where they will be departing very, very shortly for Parliament. Let's just listen in.
Specially placed cameras giving you an inside view of the galleries of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Interesting to know that there are 2.5 kilometers of corridors in Rashtrapati Bhavan. In architecture, material influences the expression royal, regal, splendid, without being overbearing or overwhelming. The sandstone pink and cream combination used gives a feeling of space and dimension, new meaning. Beautifully synced together, keeping Delhi's climate in mind. We are very blessed to have a lovely light breeze blowing here in the national capital.
प्रांगण में समारोहिक और औपचारिक गतिविधियां जारी हैं। राष्ट्रपति भवन का प्रांगण। राष्ट्रपति भवन में कुल 227 खंबे हैं और इसका प्रांगण अंग्रेजी के अक्षर टी के आकार का है। मुख्य द्वार से भीतर तक दोनों ओर हरियाली और नहर है, फव्वारे हैं और यहाँ प्रांगण की लाल बजरी कालीन की तरह चमकती हुई लगती है। प्रांगण के ठीक सामने जो गुंबद है वही दरबार हॉल का गुंबद, जो दूर से ही राष्ट्रपति भवन की पहचान। बलुआ पत्थर के बने खंभों के ऊपर चारों कोनों पर घंटियों को उकेरा गया है और भव्य और शानदार इमारत राष्ट्रपति भवन, देश के प्रथम नागरिक का आधिकारिक निवास।
The work of democracy is hard, the progress of democracy is uneven, and the only path of democracy is through inclusion. Today we walk the talk of inclusion, diversity, and possibilities.
Today is going to stay live, get you all the live pictures from Rashtrapati Bhavan to Parliament and back on what is a very, very historic day. In a few minutes from now, we'll be joined by Rajdeep Sardesai. We have with us, welcoming onto our rolling coverage, Rahul Srivastav. He's our National Affairs editor. Rahul, good morning. Very, very significant pictures. So I'd like to hand it over to you for a moment, Rahul. You've seen so many presidential oath-taking ceremonies and the ceremonials that take place at Rashtrapati Bhavan. To you, Rahul, why is this day so significant?
See, Shiv, we have gotten used to listening about how faulty our democracy is.
Yeah.
But sometimes, despite everything, following the constitution our constitutional forefathers wrote, we still do big rights. That in a country like India, a tribal lady from Upper Beda in Odisha, who had to walk from her home district to Bhubaneswar because she was going to be the first ever girl in that area to go to join a college. I think to reach the President House, about which Daily Telegraph in London on December 12, 1928 had said that there are 350 rooms, 227 columns, 35 loggias, 37 fountains, 14 lifts, 45 lakh bricks, 14 lakh cubic feet of stone, 75,000 tons of 7,500 tons of cement and 1,350 tons of iron and steel.
Their commandant.
This is what the President House is. And Shiv, it's amazing coincidences that on January 26, 1950, when our first president took charge, it was exactly on 10/24, and we are going to have it around 10:15, almost the same time. The first president. And we have talked about, Mosimi was talking about her sari.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a tribal Santhali sari, which is usually has vertically symmetric patterns, and then it has got designs or whatever horizontally also. But the protocol was supposed to decide. Now she is wearing something which has got the tricolor on it. There is also that there are only 4 people from a family attending, the daughter, husband, and the son-in-law and others. Interestingly, they have brought a special sweet for her. It's a sweet pancake made in Santhali, among the Santhalis. It's called the Arisa Pita. And when we talk about her sari, on the 23rd of January 1950, General Karyappa created a very problematic situation for Rajendra Prasad, the president, who is going to be the first president of India. And he told Rajendra Prasad that you should wear something with a sash. Then Rajendra Prasad was facing a dilemma, and he wrote to Nehru a letter. It's a historic letter now at the National Museum. It's an exchange between Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India, and Jawaharlal Nehru.
Yes.
In which Nehru advised him that instead of the usual dhoti and kurta, you should wear a achkan and chudidar. And he wore a black achkan and chudidar, and that has become virtually the official dress. Since those times, that the presidents, most of them, that bandgala, achkan, and the chudidars. It's strange. If you look into history, Rajgopalachari, when he took oath as the Governor General of India, again, it was at 10:30 a.m. in the morning. It was a bumpy ride from Calcutta that had brought him, IAF aircraft, had brought him to Delhi to take over as the Governor General. And he was received at the airport by Rajendra Prasad, Jawaharlal Nehru, Lord Mountbatten, who was in his admiral's uniform.
Yes.
And then he was administered the oath at the Darbar Hall. But yes, I think the presidency is slowly moving closer to the people, from Darbar Hall to the Central Hall of Parliament.
Yes.
And now you had APJ Abdul Kalam, who was a people's president. And then you have, for example, Mr. Kovind, very quiet tenure, 5 years, but very interesting. What he did in his tenure, that instead of having just 2 meetings by the president, which were long, he did a lot of time management. He used to squeeze in 7 to 8 meetings in a day.
Wow.
If we would find somebody in Kerala has had a problem, a rickshaw puller, that his rickshaw had broken down and he was finding it difficult, he would at times call that kind of people. And I think the maximum area of the President House, in fact, now has been open to the common public.
Right.
In fact, there are interesting episodes. For example, at one time, C. Rajgopalachari moved into the President House. It's a huge place. He said, no, I can't live in something so royal. So he moved into the smaller rooms, which are now called the family quarters.
Right.
Rajendra Prasad was, at that time, the president's salary was 10,000 rupees a month. He said, no, the president of a poor country can't take that much. He took 5,000 rupees.
Yes.
And when he passed away, his family gave away all the jewels and everything to the defense fund, because the Chinese were aggressing at that time.
Indeed.
So the President House is, I think it's a treasure trove of history, that if you walk inside this building, when you see the front gate and you go right, there is a room in which the partition was decided.
Yes, indeed.
Those are the kind of stories where which one can find it. And Droupadi Murmu, Madam President, has her task cut out, because you see what is very interesting, Shiv, that the oaths of the President of India is different from anybody else's oath. The Prime Minister or ministers say that they will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India. They owe allegiance. The President of India says in the oath that the officer will do my best in my ability to preserve and protect and defend the Constitution. The post is the defender and custodian of the Constitution, while everybody else takes oath as per allegiance to the Constitution.
Right. Very, very interesting. I mean, all these little bits of information are, helping us, Rahul, appreciate not just the significance of Droupadi Murmu becoming the president, but the legacy of the presidency of India itself since 1950. Let's just listen in now. We're getting some sound in from the ground. The ceremonies are about to begin in that forecourt. Rahul stays with me. Let's listen in.
President Shri Ramnath Kovind and the President-elect Srimati Droupadi Murmu. as the constitutional head of the country, the President is de facto also the first citizen of India, playing a significant role of the head of state of India. The President is also the Supreme Commander of the 3 Indian Armed Forces. It is laid down in our Constitution that the President has the responsibility and the authority to accord with, to defend and protect the Constitution and its rule of law. The Constitution, which is the basis of our democracy. The Constitution, which shows us the way whenever we tend to get lost. The Constitution, which ensures the values of dignity for all, equality, equity, brotherhood, fraternity, and justice.
राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक मुस्तैद राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण में दरबार हॉल के सामने ये प्रांगण की मुख्य सीढ़ियां और अब से कुछ देर में नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति और निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति दोनों यहां पधारेंगे। उसके बाद उन्हें राष्ट्रीय सैल्यूट दिया जाएगा और फिर वो प्रस्थान करेंगे संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर। ये दृश्य राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर से और यहां दरबार हॉल में निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति और नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति
Information and informal procession. The President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, and the President-elect of India, Srimati Droupadi Murmu, going past and through the Darbal Hall. Under the shadow of Lord Buddha's 5th century BC Gupta period.